some kind of sexual mistreatment.
Thank you, Carl. We certainly appreciate your call. Look, I think that, first of all, I don't think Biden's getting a pass. I mean, I think the conversation has been going. People have been talking about the black.
WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM HD3 Baltimore. Brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel.
The views and opinions of the guest and host you hear on 1010 WOLB
are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Radio 1, its sponsors, or advertisers.
It's done unto you as you believe. It's done unto you as you believe.
I'm gonna get there, yes, somehow. Push my way through the crowd. I'm gonna grab you by the hand to a place we will stand. Stand proud, no fear. It's clear, I believe in you. I believe in me. Oh yeah, I believe that we can make this dream a reality. Yeah, yeah. Now's the time to be. Now's the time for miracles. Oh, it's in my heart so deep. 'Cause I believe.
Ah, yes, I believe in you. You believe in me, and I believe that we can make our dreams a reality. Welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on WOLB 1010 Baltimore. Good morning, Baltimore. On this beautiful day, it's hot already, and it ain't even noon yet, but we're thankful for another day. We're thankful to be here and thankful that you are joining us, and we're excited about being here. Always so many wonderful things going on here in the city, and we're going to talk about it here today. And as usual, what we're going to do, we're going to start with a morning prayer. So if you are near your radio and you're not driving, we ask you to just touch it, and that we might agree and commune with one another. Oh God, our Father, Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for another opportunity to see the sunshine, to see each other's smiling faces, oh God. Some of us are going through things that are not smiling, but we pray and we ask you to let us be a present help for them, oh God. If it's no more than a good morning, how are you? Can I help you? Is there something I can do for you? Oh God, we ask you right now because we love you so much, and we thank you for life, health, and a reasonable portion of strength, oh God. Lord, our city is just in the middle of so much going on, but people are waking up, oh God. They are starting to look at each other and stop looking at who sleeps with whom and who does this and who does that, and coming together in love and harmony, which is what you said. You said how much we know you by the way we love one another. We ask you to let that love abound. Forgive us of our sins. Forgive us of our shortcomings, oh God. Help us to forgive one another. Help us to establish, help us to be thoughtful and to be considerate of one another. Lord, bless our officials in this city, Lord. Bless to touch their minds, touch their hearts, oh God. Help them to think of solutions for the people, oh God. We rebuke the bondage, the predatory things that are happening in this city on our people, oh God. We rebuke it right now, oh God. Help us to stand up for what we believe in and what we know to be right, oh God, because a man cannot ride your back unless it's bent. We thank you for this time together, Lord. Bless each and every one of us under the sound of my voice. Bless this studio. Bless this Radio 1, TV 1, and all of its inhabitants, oh God. We love you and we thank you for this time together. In thy Son, Jesus Christ's name, I pray. Amen. 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 Well, here we are. Please say good morning to my co-host, Mr. James C. Moran. Hi, James. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Good morning, Patrick, and good morning, Baltimore.
Yeah, good morning to you too, sir. We are excited about you being here and excited that you're part of the team. Are you okay, Doc?
Yeah.
Oh, you get in the center. Okay. We got to move the doc around. Let me see here. Get him on. Just go ahead. Your mic is live. How are you today, Doc Cheatham? Welcome, our other co-host. How are you, sir?
I am simply great. Sorry I missed y'all last week. I thought I was a youngster, and I decided to cut my lawn every week now. I have 47 lots in Baltimore City that my neighborhood has adopted. So I have a nice little sit-down mower, but I made the mistake in not putting eye goggles and face mask on and got dust in my lungs. And I kept saying, Lord, I hope I have an allergy. My doctor said, no, you don't have an allergy. You got dust all in your body.
What?
No. So I got to make certain I wear eye goggles as well as a face mask, because while I'm cutting up grass, a lot of dust comes up.
Sure.
And I guess at my age, it doesn't fight off dust as well as it used to.
That pollen. Well, the thing of you cut how many?
47. We have 47 lots. We have more lots than any neighborhood in the city of Baltimore. We don't have an option. It's either have a lot that's cut and clean or have a whole bunch of vacant lots. So we decided we're not going to have a whole bunch of vacant lots.
Why doesn't the city do that?
Good question. Let's ask our mayor and president of city council, all those folks that are running next year, why do we have so many vacant lots?
Well, but how many vacant lots and who owns those lots and why aren't they being
Half
careful?
of them owned by the city.
No.
Half are owned by the city, yeah.
Get out of here. And they won't even maintain them.
Won't maintain them. So we have no option. We have to take care of them ourselves.
Well, I noticed doing the Preakness up there in Park Heights, they was cutting them lawns, wasn't he? Oh, yeah, they didn't want the visitationers to see the overgrowth there. And so we know that they have the capabilities of doing it. It's just a matter of why they don't.
Yeah.
Well, that is
honored to be here.
Well, we're honored to have you here. As many of you know, Doc Cheatham is he's an old soldier, and that is not a derogatory term. He's been at this a long time, for years, from the NAACP, and here he is. He's retired from that, and he's just as effective and as volatile as he was when he was the president of the NAACP. So,
is that a nice way to say I'm a hellraiser?
Yes, sir. That's what they call us up in here. They call us the Lion's Den, and we're not. We're really nice people. We just have a passion for our people. And please welcome today. We don't have him in the studio as we normally do, but of course y'all hear him on every station because he sits home in his beautiful place that he lives over there on Meekin, and he takes care of his business and takes care of our business by letting us know what's going on in the city. Please say hello to Mr. Leo Burrows. How are you, Leo?
Yes, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And praise the Lord and pass the ammunition for justice, decency, and fair play.
Yes, sir. That's what we're fitting to do up in here. And we have a special guest with us this morning, a young man who is doing an incredible job in the community with our children, with our people. And please welcome Mr. Messiah Fit from the Black Wolves Scouting Organization. How are you today, Messiah?
Aru, peace and power, brothers and sisters.
Welcome here. Tell us what's going on. Why are you here today?
Well, just like I'm calling in on every Monday and Sunday to promote the RBG Human Flag Day, and just also talk about some powerful, upliftment things for youth.
What's going on August 17th?
So August 17th, the whole entire world will be watching here in Baltimore City, Maryland, at Harlem Park at 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. 10,000 people we shooting for will assemble into the first red, black, and green human flag, the flag that Marcus Garvey created, the UNIA, the flag which the red represents the blood of our ancestors, the black represents the first man and woman or melanin, and the green represents the land that belongs to us, people of color. So it's going to be a powerful day.
Yeah, it is. Y'all see him, y'all see me. I got on my red, black, and green. I tries to wear a little something every time I come out the house. This is going to be an incredible day. We're so excited about it. We're working with Brother Charlie Duggar. Did I pronounce it right?
Charles Duggar. Robert Charles Duggar, yes.
And, as many of you know, he's been having a Marcus Garvey celebration in the park for over 20 years?
That's correct.
And we've been meeting with him, and we've been talking to the people in parks and recreations, and we're getting some incredible things done there in the park. In fact, I'm going to talk to Brother Duggar and see if we can rededicate the park on that day. We'd like to do that. And Brother Doc, that's not your neighborhood, is it?
No, that's the Harlem Park neighborhood.
Pull your microphone up. That's the Harlem Park neighborhood. That's 21217.
I'm not certain whether it might be 21218, might be 18. 18, but it's definitely in the Harlem Park area. Yeah, it's definitely in the Harlem Park area.
It's the Harlem Park.
Yeah,
yes.
We're in 17, and it's right out. It's south of us. It's trying to think what would that be? Harlem Park area.
Somebody lives in that area.
Real close.
Call in and tell us what zip code that is. But we're working with it. And one thing I'm finding, I'm calling city council people, and they're saying it doesn't matter if it's in my district or not. What do you need? What do you all need to happen? So we listen. The things, the omens are there. We need to come together. We need to become one. And on that day, it's not going to be nothing but about skin and our kin. Gathering that day in that park. We're going to have vendors there, some incredible vendors, mental health, how to buy a house with no down payment, job training things, doctors and blood pressure medication taking. All sorts of information is going to be there on that day. This is the brainchild of Brother Messiah Fit. And Brother Messiah, what gave you that idea? Where did that come from?
So believe it or not, I was in Baltimore City headquarters, and I was looking at their little museum. They have a museum inside, and I saw this picture of children doing the United States human flag. Mm-hmm. And it was, I believe it was almost 17,000 children, just Baltimore City Public School children in 1914. Mm-hmm. And that stuck in my mind. I said, wow, this would be a great opportunity for us to do the same thing for our people. So that's where it came from.
21223.
21223. Okay. All right. Oh, that's incredible. And you have done it already on a smaller scale here at was it Matthew Henderson Elementary School?
Correct.
And how many kids did you have on that one? 350 children. And
that was a whole school. That's all of us.
That's in your district, right?
Yeah,
Matthew
that's
Henderson.
the neighborhood I'm president of.
Yes. So we got family relations, we got ties here, and he took pictures of it. And if you go to my page or go to what page that they can look and see what's going on with your organization and for this day, where can they go to?
So they actually can Google RBG Human Flag Day, and it's the first bulletin, if you want to call it, that pops up on the feed. The first one. So if you go to Google again, RBG Human Flag Day, click images or video or just web, you'll see everything about it. Now, what about your pages on social media? So look up Universal Assemble for the United States of Africa. That's the page of this movement, Universal Assemble for the United States of Africa, or look up the Black Wolf Youth Scouts Nation.
Mm-hmm. And that's on Facebook and what else? Instagram?
And Instagram.
Listen, we're trying to tap into it all.
And we would like to have a table, so we like to be a vendor. So whatever the cost is, the neighborhood would like to have a table there. We want to show our strong support.
Yes.
No problem, Doc.
Yes, we got.
And we'll pay. If there's a fee, we'll pay.
Well,
it's free for information vendors, and then it's $25. This is coming from Bobby Charlie Duggar. He runs that. It's $25 for anybody that's trying to make profit. So that's what it is.
Those are the fees.
Yes.
All right. Well, you all got the information, and that's going to lead me to the point of something that is happening on June 19th. Not here, but in Washington, D.C., in the United States Congress, House of Representatives. For the first time since 1978, reparations will be discussed within the House. I believe it's Sheila Jackson Lee from Houston is the one that has brought this to the fore. But this has been stimulated basically because our own Ta-Nehisi Coates wrote an article in the Atlantic about it. and he's been all over the world now talking about it. Brought the subject back to the fore, but not since 1978 has it been brought to the floor of the House of Representatives. And I believe the 19th is this coming Wednesday. Am I correct? It's Juneteenth. Yeah. For those of you that don't know what Juneteenth is, the Emancipation Proclamation was handed down, and it took it almost 3 years to get to the state of Texas, because of course they didn't want anybody to know about it. And since the Civil War was not fought in Texas, they didn't, they were trying to keep things as quietly as they could, and people couldn't read, and evidently there weren't people coming in and telling them what was going on. But when they finally got word on it, they said it was about the 18th or the 19th, they celebrated the Emancipation of Proclamation of being freed by Abraham Lincoln. And that day is fondly called Juneteenth, the 19th of June. And on this coming Wednesday, in the House of Representatives of the United States Congress, reparations will be discussed. Danny Glover, is it Danny?
Donnie.
Danny
Glover.
Danny Glover.
Yeah, right, Danny.
Yeah, Danny Glover will be one of the speakers. And as many of you know, he has been an avid voice on reparations, as many of us have, and he will be one of the speakers, and our own Ta-Nehisi Coates will be there as a speaker also. They're one of the main authorities, the ones that they're the go-to person will be speaking. But I wanted to do this show today because yesterday I announced the church, and I told people that it was going on, and you should have seen the looks on their faces. Not one eye was not on me as I was telling them about what was getting ready to happen. And after church was over, people came over to me and they said, "Thank you. We would not have known that this is going to be happening." Listen, we need to talk about this, you all. We need to talk about it. We need to start talking about it. You will be able to see it on C-SPAN. It should be there for the whole hearing. Hopefully, I'm hoping the cable stations will cover it, because but if they're not, the president, we're going to call it, aren't you showing this? And I'm going to give you that number before we get off the air. But you need to call our state representatives, call other state representatives, and let them know we want something done about this, and what are they going to do? What are their intentions? We've also noticed that a lot of the presidential candidates in the Democratic Party, I just heard O'Rourke say that he was for it. I'm waiting to hear what Biden is going to say, although I wouldn't believe him because I don't trust him as far as I can see him. But Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, they're all saying absolutely, it's way past time for it. So this is an opportunity for us. We complain about America. We complain about what they don't do. But when we have an opportunity to let the people know and let them know what we want, then we'd say nothing. And then we go back to the same position we were, complaining and whining and getting nothing done. The question for today's show is, how should reparations be paid? Should it be paid in cash? Or should it be paid in benefits, such as free college, such as free health care, such as free education, vocational training? How should America repay us for the free labor that we gave in building this nation is the question. 410
who would pay? All have paid reparations at various other to I'm just going listing yesterday we
Native Americans or
we paid for we stabilized folks and considering reparations for the poor black folk. We paid for a study, free health care. Paid. Who would do the and does everyone pay? I think you need to shine the light. No, only a million when black folks or whatever it is, that is payment go between me and anybody else. So I want benefits more than I want the cash.
All right,
for
Doc.
me.
Doc, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to deal almost everything James said, but I want to say Matthew Henderson Neighborhood Association has taken advantage of Juneteenth. We are actually having on Juneteenth from 6 to 8 p.m. right below Compton State University at the Clarence Hicks Community Center, 2718 West North Avenue. We're having a community symposium on food. We feel that in a reparation area could in fact be here in Baltimore, the fact that 1/4 of the citizens in Baltimore live in a food desert. In my neighborhood, Matthew Henson, we are now, next month, we will be in our 5th year without a food market. Now, most folks have no idea what it's like to not live close to a food market, be someone who doesn't have transportation, and you know what it really feels like. So we're having a free event. We will be providing free food. We selected Juneteenth as a date because we think, almost as James has said, it doesn't always necessarily have to be money. It could be services, outstanding services. Benefits, and have that many, over 100,000 people in Baltimore City live in a food desert. We think that's a reparations issue, an issue that a community is suffering. And what should the city or the state do? And we think on this day, we invite everyone to come, 6 to 8 p.m., 2718 West North Avenue, the Clarence Hicks Center. And it's free food as well. And we invite everyone to come. We invited city, state, and federal people to come. We think it's more than just giving money. We know that's normally the first opposition of folks who don't look like us. Well, they don't deserve any money. We don't necessarily say we're asking for money. We want some of the services that we should have had years ago.
Exactly. I agree with you 100%. I see Richard has joined us. Hi, Richard Terry. How are you today, sir?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Sorry I'm late to the party. I've been doing some research on something.
All right. What are your thoughts about how should we be paid? Should it be benefits or should it be cash?
Cash is not my strong suit with this one. Mine will be more in benefits because with cash, unfortunately, with many of us, we go through the cash like water. But with the benefits, they would be longer lasting and more beneficial.
Interesting. Leo, what are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are that I don't know that the benefits promised will be delivered and in what time frame those benefits will be delivered. I like the idea of benefits, but I like cash better. I can manage my own affairs, and if I squander the cash I receive, that's on me. I'm going to drown if I do that. But I want to have full control over the what is provided, that check or checks that are provided. I want to direct the monies in ways that I can determine best how they will benefit my continuing existence.
Jason, Rod, we all know Jason. I always forget to introduce him because he's behind. He's not in the room with us, but
morning,
also our
family.
co-anchor and our producer. Jason, what do you think, cash or benefits?
So I'm more in favor of benefits. Like the great comedian Paul Mooney said that if you hand us cash, we'll end up running to the Cadillac dealer, and the Cadillac dealer will end up being the #1 dealership in the country. I do believe in goods and services, maybe low interest loans that maybe the federal government would pay the financial institutions the percentage so that they do make some sort of profit off of it, but give us zero interest loans and in some cases guaranteed loans. When you look at Baltimore City, for instance, there's definitely a consideration and a need for reparations. We know that many of the descendants here in Baltimore City are native of South Carolina, North Carolina. They came up, during the Great Black Migration of the South, escaping Jim Crow era and the ending of slavery in the southern states. So there are many descendants of those that are here that are descendants of folks that were enslaved. And we know that in many cases, the redlining, the poor and discriminatory housing policies that took place here in Baltimore City, in some cases, localized reparations is needed, not just federal reparations, but maybe even city and state reparations, because we know even within our Constitution, they didn't consider us to be equal here in the state of Maryland. And there were discriminatory policies here within Baltimore City that prevented many blacks in this city from being able to pursue happiness.
Yes, sir.
Well, Jason, if I may, those redlining practices and other practices that have been put in place, especially since the early days of the city of Baltimore, are still in place. So the first thing that they have to do is get rid of those.
So you done stop preaching and going to meddling now. You just stop preaching and going to meddling. We have a younger generation here today. We have a millennial. And I'd like to know what Messiah Fit thinks about the reparations, but benefits or cash.
I think it's a much more complex procedure. I think there are more things that have to be done. I believe people really need to know where they come from. So, for instance, if you come from Africa, I believe that there should be some type of free travel back to your homeland. I believe it needs to be a huge council, if you want to call it, like a summit between Africa and all other nations. Because this is bigger than just giving us cash and giving us benefits. I mean, this is really knowing where you come from, and then even more, who really suffered.
How would you find those records? They don't no census. They don't say they came from where the point of origin.
So supposedly you can get
DNA.
Your DNA, and it'll tell you, tribes and different ethnicities and cultures that you come from. So I believe those measures need to be taken, and then also to even consider giving reparations based on family size. So if you single, let's say all your family died, or if you got 5 children, just depending on your family size, also depending on what you could get out of this.
Interesting, very interesting.
Messiah, can I ask a question? And I'm ignorant to this. Please forgive me. Is it true? I've heard for years that people indigenous to Africa today, considered. They don't consider African Americans from the United States very well.
It's true.
To say consider, I've had personal conversations with brothers and sisters directly from the motherland, and because of the exploitation, they do have their ignorances and perspectives about African Americans here. But once they come here, they get a better perspective. So.
Okay.
Well, they get a better perspective, but they still don't want their children to date our children. They still don't want them to hang out with our children. And I'm not mad at them either. I don't want anybody to think that I am. They are preserving their cultures, and I understand that. But as president of the Baltimore City Community College for 1 year, the Nigerian students particularly disliked the fact that their parents would not allow them to date whom they chose. They did not want them dating American people. So they're trying to keep their culture. I'm not mad at them, but there is a problem.
Patrick?
Yeah.
I just wanted to interject that many of the African people on the continent of Africa who come here to go to school or to uplift their standard of living have been exploited. Not only after they get here, they're exploited while in Africa. With the African command and the European and Chinese influence in Africa, they are victimized every day by institutional racism.
Yes.
So I hear what you're saying and others, but racism is universal.
It is.
And it's still chattel slavery in real time is still considered such.
Yes, it is. Yes, hold on, Leo. You hear the music, Leo. You hear the music, Leo. You're listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
This is not the time to lose your focus. Got a work to do for the Lord, and you cannot afford to lose your way. You come too far from
WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM HD3 Baltimore.
The views and opinions of the guest and host you hear on 1010 WOLB
are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Radio 1, its sponsors, or advertisers.
It's done unto you as you believe. It's done unto you as you believe.
All right, we're back with you. We're back. Thank you, Jason. We've got, we wanted, one thing, go ahead and say what you were just saying there, Jimmy.
Yeah. One of the things that's a pet peeve of mine, I got to stop using pet peeve terms here, but a pet peeve of mine is the fact that people don't want to talk about reparations because it's, number one, it's an uncomfortable topic, but it's worth discussing, and it's worth discussing in the context of the fact that the United States has given reparations to anybody they feel like giving reparations to, except for black folk for slavery. And then if you look at other countries, I developed a list. Germany has given reparations to the Holocaust survivors.
Over $10 billion.
Well, it was $822 million right away. Then it was Canada gave money to the Eskimos. France gave money to Holocaust survivors. Japan gave money to the Korean comfort women. And Austria gave money for the Holocaust. So it is a worthwhile discussion to have, figuring out how you do it and who you do it with. Absolutely is worth having that discussion.
Go ahead, Jay.
Patrick, staying on that subject, James is absolutely right. You know, I don't often agree with James. We go at it all the time.
Best friend in the whole wide world.
But I agree with you wholeheartedly. In this case, we may even have to look at international reparations because we know that Spain was solely responsible for the slave trade and the whole slave triangle.
The Portuguese, yes.
You know?
Yes.
So we may have to really look at international reparations.
Interesting. 410-481-1010. 410-481-1010. We want to hear what you have to say, you all. 410-481-1010. And you're listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Carlos, welcome. Do you have a question or comment, sir?
Yes, sir. I have a comment, and I'm trying to make it real quick. I want to go to your question of the reparations, but first of all, on the Africans dating and mixing with our people, they feel like our blood has been contaminated by the blood of the oppressor, and they think that they have a more pure strain of the African blood than we. Be that as it may, reparations would be, to me, the aspiration, which means that we should have it. We are entitled to it. Other ethnic groups have gotten it, as previously stated, but there is also an aspect of desperation, and that desperation says that our chances of getting it are slim and none, and Slim left town a long time ago. And I'm going to say the abiding question would be, why do they hate us so much?
God, yes, I agree.
As a people. John Henry Clark once said that we have no friends in the world except ourselves, and that the white supremacists have spread hate and vitriol about our people around the world.
To this
wherever
day.
you go, even to the continent, you will find that hate and that vitriol spread and bled and ingrained in those populations.
Yes.
Again, thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir, for your commentary. I appreciate that. Yes.
I just, again, the Queen of England is still greatly honored throughout the British Commonwealth, as it is called or designated. And much of Africa, many African nations or so-called tribes, are still embracing Queen Elizabeth and the Commonwealth. We've got to be very mindful of the strategies of institutional racism globally to divide and conquer us. Some of the things we hear are myths. There are individual Africans who truthfully will say things that are negative and vice versa on the part of African Americans. So be mindful that the institutional racism is alive and well, and that the crown, as it were.
I hear you, Leo. But the biggest, sir, listen to me. Now, we need to understand that tribalism is one of the biggest problems in Africa. They don't even like each other. If one tribe is of another tribe and another tribe is another tribe, they don't even speak. They won't intermarry. They don't do nothing. So we can talk about the Queen of England all day long, Leo. The problem is that they don't know how to get along with each other. Tribalism is an eyesore and a major problem in Africa. And we need to discuss that. I don't want to discuss it here because I'm not thinking about Africa right now. I'm talking about reparations right here on this show. Uncle Fred, do you have a question or comment, sir?
Please.
Please.
You want to figure out what's going on here?
Yes, sir.
I feel you, man. I feel you. I mean, I think about Africa is very complicated.
It is more time than I want to spend.
54 countries on one continent. So, I mean, that's how we got here, too. You know that?
Yeah, I know.
But, when you talk about that reparations thing, since they're very adamant that they don't want to pay nothing. They don't owe us nothing. What about if we change that to a lawsuit for taxes paid to build institutions and create scenarios that we didn't have privilege to? Just give us our tax dollars back that we paid all the way up until 65 before we became full citizens, wasn't it?
Yes. They allowed the right to vote. Yes.
Well, all right. We became full citizens then.
Mm-hmm.
So if we paid taxes, say from 1900, give us all our taxes.
And the White House. Yes.
Well, they built the White House off of slaves built the White House, and it's free.
That was free labor.
Yeah, so I mean, some kind of way we need to figure out how to get them in court.
Well, I think Messiah talked about a tribunal of people that would come together and sit and talk about what it should be done. Thanks, Fred. I appreciate your call. Dude, that's a great idea. Doc, you had something that you wanted to say?
Two things. One, I think the concept of trying to get us together, all we got to look at is the folks that we have as our elected officials. These are people we voted for. And I think many of us, we had the option of whether we could vote for or against all of them. I think most of us would vote against them. Mm-hmm. So I'm not that comfortable with bringing a group of folks together because we've seen what we do. We have failed when it comes to electing people that really represent us. Amen. I also feel as a people, we have no excuse in today's world with technology being what it is to talk about folks not telling us our own history. If we don't know our history today, it's on us. Mm-hmm. Every bit of technology is there before us now. I candidly can say, I don't know of any children in my family, young or old, that don't know their history. And I'm saying if you don't know your history, blame your parents. If you don't know your history, blame your parents and blame yourself. Blame yourself that you don't know it. No, the school has failed us completely. But that's still no excuse for us not teaching our history to ourselves. Mm-hmm. We don't know our history. It's on us.
Because so many of us don't like ourselves, man. We hate each other. Explained in the killing of one another. Charles, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment, sir?
Oh, I have a comment. You got the right one now. See, when it comes to our history, people refuse to accept their history. It's not a fact that they don't know their history. When people are told their history, they deny it. See, we don't want any money for reparations. Why we want money? That's minimizing us. We're not that kind of people. What was stolen from us was the land. And they made money off the land, the resources. That's what we want back, our land and our resources. Remember, we're not immigrants. We're not from Africa.
We were here when they got here.
We were already here.
That's right.
And we've always been here. And they took our land. We are paying rent and mortgage for our land. We can't even make businesses on our own land. So why would you want a couple of hundreds of fake dollars when they took your land which is an asset, a tangible asset. They took the gold because the gold was a tangible asset, and they gave you these dollars that are not worth anything in exchange. People don't understand what has been done to us like it's been done to the Palestinians. Why do we want
being done to the Palestinians presently as we speak?
That's right. But why do we want a couple of dollars? Just like when somebody kills your loved one, you're going to get paid for that murder? And
yeah, partner. For reparations. Don Conyers and slavery and its continuing vestiges. The material for reparations include cash payments, economic development, source particularly to those who are descendants of enslaved Africans. Reparations for black people of African descent include funds for community development, creation of multimedia depictions of our history of black people of African descent, and textbooks and education or institutions that tell a story from the African descendants' perspective. And I'm just going to leave it right there for time purposes. I just want to say, Pat, today, I don't always agree with Oscar, but he hit it right on the head as far as the police officers. That's why I don't let them off of the hook. The women police officers don't have any.
I believe that's Leo's line.
And try again.
He had to go.
They don't have any problem being in
your operator.
community.
Hold on for a minute. That was Leo's line. Okay, yeah, I knew he had to leave early. Mark, I agree with this. Is Mark Cannon?
Yep.
And this Sunday, man, I'm doing my 7-year show, Pat. 5 o'clock, I'm doing an addiction recovery show.
All right, and that's at what time?
Me and a friend of mine.
5 o'clock.
All right, partner. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all be blessed, man. And y'all soldiers keep the good work up.
All right, man. Thank you for your
I'm
commentary.
glad Mark brought up the issue of community development. That's where my community looked at how could we address reparations, and that was through community development. Development meaning that if something is not developed, then it needs to be developed. We're saying we got food markets that don't exist. They need to be developed. So that's an area that we looked at as to how could we look at reparations. That's why we picked this date, Juneteenth. We think one of the areas should be community development, starting with food markets that we don't have.
That's great. Jimmy, are you taking notes of these? Would you write that down and add that to your list? Yeah. Community development. We're going to go to Ankh, I believe it is. 410-481-1010. Mike, we're coming to you right after this. Ankh?
Brothers doing?
Doing great.
Yeah, I'm a Jim Crow baby boomer. We talk about reparation for slavery. What about Jim Crow?
I think I think they put them together. But go ahead, we're listening.
Yeah. Also, B. Gaddy. She sponsored a bill on reparation about a few years back.
Oh, really?
I was wondering if anyone knew anything about that.
No, I didn't. Everybody shaking their head, Doc?
No, I remember it. Let me see if I can look it up.
He's going. They're looking it up now. Go ahead. We're listening.
Yeah. Also, the Iranian hostage. You remember them?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The Iranian hostages. That Carter freed. That Carter tried to help. Yeah.
Yeah, they got reparations.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Yeah. Also, I want to. You say there's going to be something on C-SPAN today?
No, sir. It's going to be Wednesday, the 19th.
The 19th?
Yes, sir.
What station is that?
I think you should probably be safe to just go to C-SPAN If you got kids, just go to C-SPAN. That's where you're most likely to see it, because these cables, they decide what they're going to do. But C-SPAN is 24/7.
Okay, Doc, you said you got something going on Juneteenth where?
Yeah, it's a community symposium, June 19th, Wednesday, from 6 to 8 at the Leonard E. Hicks Community Center. You come down north, and right after you pass Coppin, there's a nice, beautiful community center right over there called the Leonard E. Hicks at 2718 West North Avenue. And that's from 6 to 8 on this coming Wednesday, and that's Juneteenth. Yes, sir.
God bless you for having this show.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you for calling, and we appreciate it so much. 410-481-1010, 410-481-1010. Were you able to find anything, Doc?
Yes, it looks like what I remember it was in the year, I guess it would be 2000. She introduced Bill 00, which means that's the year 211. It dealt with machinery, workers' compensation, employers' liability, employees' rights. I'm assuming that's when she brought up the issue. I remember it well because she was the one that was in the council that brought up the issue about reparations. So I'm going to do a little more homework on it. But I know she may have been one of the first ones that brought it up. I know that Councilman Handy, Kwame Abiomi was his name, his African name is Abiomi. I remember he did something also bringing in reparations discussion in the City Council of Baltimore as well.
And Patrick, I found out the information. So, family, if you have cable television, you can go to C-SPAN 3. It's on FiOS. It's on Baltimore City Comcast cable. Or you could also go to their website, cspan.org, and be able to watch it on C-SPAN 3. The hearing starts at 10 a.m., and they're expecting Danny Glover, Tanisha Coates.
Ta-Nehisi.
I'm sorry, Ta-Nehisi. I'm sorry. Excuse me, family. And others to testify on slavery reparations.
Yes, sir. That's the information. We'll give it to you one more time before we go. Mike, I promised I was coming to you now. Well, before I do that, 410-481-1010. I know you got a voice in this. I know you want to say something about this. Do you want the money or do you want benefits? Cash dollars or benefits? Mike, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment, sir?
Yes, Pat. How you doing? And Doc?
We're good. Thank you for asking.
Okay, now the first thing I want to bring up is that the Japanese and the Germans, I mean the Jews, they got reparations because they were in a position of power. See, and the Japanese got them because they had owned U.S. debt. And they held the U.S. hostage and said, hey, it's about time you pay us for reparations. The Jews, fortunately, and some may say unfortunately, they have a common sense of wealth and community and history. And so they went to the Germans and said, you know what, guess what? You owe us. We're in a position of power around the world, and now we say it's time that you pay. Now, I can tell you how we can get paid.
Okay.
And this is with most issues that we face. See, if we would just simply boycott Christmas. See, America understands money. They understand commerce. They understand business. And the second thing that we should do is the way we bring the greater population into our issue is we shut down and we hurt them with taxes. Now, let me tell you how you do that. You shut down and you don't participate in any casinos and any tax estate lotteries. See, the majority of African Americans support and make up the bulk of the money that goes into state lotteries. See, the lotteries are what the whites consider the tax on the poor. See, y'all don't hear that nowhere else but from me. See, me and my friends, we say, you know what, we're too smart to go to casinos except for recreation, and way too smart to risk our money in the lottery because it's a zero-sum game. You don't win. But by paying your taxes and by supporting casinos, you lower the overall taxes for the states. And this is states around the country. If we would just form a coalescence or cohesiveness about shutting down the government, or at least not supporting that institution of state lotteries. Look at how many games you have in the lottery. You have enough scratch-offs. You have morning. You have afternoon. You even the pastors gave up Sunday for their lotteries. So all we have to do is come together. I mean, it's real simple. You shouldn't even support them anyway. But if you're stupid enough to do it, you ought to stop and say, look, as something, we're going to fight for something. And I mean, nationally, we ought to come together and say, it's time to stop talking about all of these issues, but attack whether as long as you states attorneys and judges support that, we will know what the state arena and casino. One of them is almost going out of business now because one down the road has affected their revenue stream.
Yeah, that's
how money works.
I was getting ready to say the state had a fit when the numbers came out and the Horseshoe had lost 14% from the previous year, and they really it was really ugly when they said that National Harbor was 5% from last year, deficit from last year. So they look at those numbers very carefully, and gambling is the major backbone to the revenues and the budgets of most of the states, especially up and down the East Coast.
I know money. So I'm serious about getting something done. If it's about reforming the school system, we need. You know what? I know it's going to hurt some jobs, but we are going to boycott Christmas. Because you know what? Most businesses are in the red until Christmas.
Yeah.
That's one of the main things that Mega Evans was responsible for, organizing boycotts throughout Mississippi.
And we haven't had them since.
Yeah,
not a strong one.
All we do is hear talk. I mean, Reverend Sharpton I've been telling him since Freddie Gray. And even before Trayvon Martin, when are we going to hold some people's feet? And the way that you hit America is you hit them in the pocketbook.
That's right. Thank you, Mike.
You have to hit them in the pocketbook.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Yes, Doc.
I'm concurring with Money Mike 100%, but I want to recommend this. What about the first of the month we decide we're not going to pay the lottery?
Pay the lottery?
First of the month. Play lottery.
Okay.
If you look at the first of the month, when everybody gets their checks, I don't get mine to the first business day of the month, not the first day. But if we were to select one day to show the impact that we have in the state of Maryland with the state lottery and all the gambling, let's take one day. And my suggestion is let's take the first of the month and we say on that one day, we don't play the lottery. We don't play it that day. Believe me. We just take we'll take the month of July and go from July to December. Believe me, they will want to come talk to us if we as a black people in Baltimore City decide first of the month we're not going to play the lottery. Believe me, they're going to they want to come talk to us.
Just do it in a few zip codes.
A few zip codes will do it as well.
21215 is the most.
21215, 21217, 21223.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
That's going to be some of the hardest things to do, fellas, because
it's addictive.
I work at a convenience store, and I'm telling you, Grandma ain't giving up her triples, her triples and the combinations.
If Grandma was intelligent enough, she knows she loses more than she wins.
Yes. All right. We're going to go to Hassan. Hassan, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. 410-481-1010. Nathan, I see you there. 410-481-1010. Call in. We're getting some incredible ideas and thoughts that we had not considered. We want to know what you have to think. 410-481-1010. Yes, Hassan, welcome.
How you doing today, Brother Patrick?
Well, thank you.
I just want to say two things. I totally agree with the last brother about boycotting Christmas. That's always been an idea of mine. Christmas is when they hit us the most. Furthermore, it's a pagan holiday. The colors are red and white. When you take the N on Santa and put the N at the end of the word Santa, it says Satan.
Really?
In the Bible, Jeremiah 10, it says, "Thou shalt not have pine trees within thy house." And that's all a Christmas tree is a pine tree. And it says, "Thou shalt not dress it with silver and gold." In the Bible, it says that. And that's what we do. We put it in our house, and we dress it with silver and gold. But the pastor will not say that scripture. Also, as far as reparations, our president, our African-American president, Obama gave reparations to Jewish Americans and Jewish people of Israel to have dual citizenship, and they got reparations for money.
And refused the United Nations when they wanted to have a forum on it. He shut them down, told them he wouldn't have no part of it. Our black president. So you speak the truth, my brother. A lot of people don't like me because I say Obama stopped even the discussion in the United Nations.
Shameful. Have a good day, brother.
And it's because Barack Obama, any president, it has an allegiance to something that none of us have a clue to. They work for corporations and bigger things that they don't show on television.
Well, how about who's Trump working for?
Same corporations, same entities.
They can't stand him. Are you serious?
Very.
Nathan, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. You have a question or comment, sir?
A comment. Uncle Obama was one of the worst African descendants ever born. And like you said, they do nothing for black people. And the United States government full of it. Why they got to study reparations? What do they studying if they didn't do anything wrong to Africans? What they studying about? Just give up the reparations and stop playing with black people, or else. Or else we're gonna take reparations. We're gonna start a revolution with people who serious instead of people who calling for the police to occupy the black community like Doc Cheatham. He calling for occupation. Like I said before, he the one who got Freddie Gray killed because he kept calling for open air drug bugs. He took Kevin Davis all around these corners where the black.
I know. I heard you this morning, Nathan. Nathan, I heard you. Nathan, I heard you this morning. On Larry Young's show, and a few people were upset with what you had to say. Doc Cheatham is a soldier working in the field. I don't even know your name, sir. What have you done?
I know one thing. When you hear ignorance like that, the best thing to do is not to respond to it. Brother, you're ignorant. You know where I live. Be there.
Ooh. Wayne, first time caller. Welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question? That's some Baltimore way they handle beefs right there. Know where you live. Thank you, Jason. Hallelujah. I don't know what the word is, but the word is for what Doc just said. Wayne, how are you today? Yes, do you have a question or comment, sir?
Yeah, I just got a comment, man. I'm a first time caller, and I want to say, man, I'm glad I stumbled. Of course, you have radio station by the grace of God. Right?
Thank you.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something. You guys have been talking some great facts, man, this morning. I'm definitely getting ready to be a fan of y'all's show.
Thank you.
Listening to the guy, Money Mike. He was making some very good points, man, about playing a lottery and all this stuff, right, and boycotting certain things. Now, I was a big fan of buying books of lottery tickets, playing Powerball, Mega Millions. And I realized I was spending too much money on that. It came between me and my wife and my family. So I stopped playing. I don't play the lottery at all no more. I don't condone it whatsoever. Second of all, about boycotting certain things. It's stores that I don't even spend my money in no more because I realize that they only hire their own time.
Come on.
Dunkin' Donuts at 7-Eleven. And I don't spend my money with them. You notice it's their own race in them stores. So if we stop spending money in them 7-Elevens, maybe they start hiring black people. I want to see regular black people in the stores, just like McDonald's. McDonald's is not even black-owned or blacks working at McDonald's. You see more Hispanics in there. Now, I'm not coming all racist or bigots, but this is what I'm starting to notice, that we are spending our money on these other races, and they get rich off our money, but they're not doing nothing for us.
Yes.
It's the liquor stores. If I go into a liquor store and I don't see a black person working in there, I don't buy from them. I only spend my money on black-owned businesses. That's what we need to start supporting.
Amen. Thank you. We look forward to your first time calling. Call in anytime, Wayne. We want to hear from you. Thank you.
I'm definitely going to call in now. No more FM station for me, man.
We bless you, my brother. Thank you.
Especially with regards to McDonald's. Watch what McDonald's starts doing. they're going to be starting getting rid of a lot of those people who look like us, who work for them, especially these young people, as they begin to automate their stores more and more and more.
Well, the other day I read that if you give food, I stop giving food to homeless people. I start giving money to homeless people. If they're in the Mickey D's and I'm in there, I'll buy them food, but I will not give them cash. Now they're forbidding the customers to buy food for them, and I don't think they have a right to tell us how to spend our money.
Well, if you listen to what they're talking about, if you hear our police commissioner, he's telling people point blank, don't give money to anybody that's out there on those streets.
Well, they're misguided. We got to help people. Everybody don't got it like we got it. Oscar, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment, sir?
Yes, I do. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Now, I heard you guys talking about ignorance, but you didn't say anything about this guy to call up and say that we were here and they stole our land.
It's true.
Anybody who ever been to Africa, know in Ghana, they call it the door of no return, where Africans was captured and sent through that door and put on slave ships, be brought over here to be slaves. Now, tell me or show me from this guy where we were already here.
All right, I'll tell you, Oscar. No. We can't start there. It's limited. Google it. Just Google it. When the Pilgrims got here, the people they met were black people, sir.
You go to the blacks and wax,
sir.
And you
please
see the slave ships. You see a historical evidence that we was brought here from Africa.
Oscar, are you familiar with that there were pyramids found or pyramid-shaped objects found in Mississippi?
Yes, man.
And found throughout the Midwest?
That don't mean that black people made them. Indigenous people could have done it.
Wow.
Well, I think the question is, what does he consider to be black people?
Well, what do you got an idea about what he might be considered? I don't.
Because obviously, I guess it's not based on how people look to him.
Right. And again, many of the natives that I've seen are all dark skinned. They're not fair skinned. I don't see too many indigenous people that are still around.
Listen,
that are descendants of the Navajo, and you could name the different tribes. And Patrick, you could contest to this because down there in Texas, they have many different tribes in that region.
Not only
and they're all dark skinned,
but then even the Mexicans are Indians. Come on, man.
And the pyramid, there have been pyramid-type structures that have been all through Central and South America, many of which they're just really starting
But I think that's the same brother that called here and said I shouldn't be allowed to teach children to read music because I can't read music. Okay. I think he's the same guy that said that I could be wrong. And, my God, man, Stephen Jobs couldn't program a computer. What does that have to do with anything in the age we live in? You're listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on WOLB 1010 Baltimore. Don't touch that dial.
This is not the time to get distracted. This is not the time to go off course. This is not the time to lose your focus. Got a work to do for the Lord, and you cannot afford to lose your way.
The new 1010 WOLB with talk in the day and soul at night.
This is Donnell Spivey from Exit Spivey Professional Realty. I've been selling real estate in the Baltimore metro area for over 30 years. I invite you to join me on our real estate wealth building show every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on WOLB 1010 AM. We'll be discussing how to build wealth through real estate. For buyers, we will be discussing student loan debt elimination programs, first-time home buyer, down payment assistance, and credit repair. For sellers, we will help you get top value for your home through helping you prepare your home for sale. For investors, we will show you how to start investing with only a 3% down payment. Call us today at 410-465-0083 or visit our website at mdhometoday.com. Don't forget, tune in every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on WOLB 1010 AM.
Hello, Baltimore. Stay tuned to WOLB AM every Friday at 10 a.m. for the Frank Conway program. It's a powerful, hard-hitting, informative program, and it's all homegrown. Featuring Carlton C. Douglas, Attorney A. Dwight Pettit, Sister Zinga, and you. Together, it's a spirited debate on radio and online. Great conversation for great people. The Frank Conway Show, every Friday at 10 a.m., bringing you up-to-date news and perspectives. Call in and let's agree to disagree and move Baltimore forward.
Baltimore and beyond. This is your host, Lou Fields. BDX Live Talk Show now airs every Monday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. on 1010 a.m. You can also listen online at WOLBbaltimore.com. BDX Live covers breaking news, business news and reports, tips and topics from Baltimore's business community as well as the state of Maryland across the country. We also give you the Maryland Black Facts every Monday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. We also provide political updates and news from City Hall, County Council, and what's going on in Annapolis, Maryland. We also have a special feature on health and wellness, diet and nutrition, home care, self-care, nursing, speaking with healthcare providers. We also cover travel and tourism, conventions and reunions and bus trips coming into Baltimore. We also have a special section called Sports and Entertainment, Sports Rap with the Coach. And lastly, we cover community news and events with our special guests, and we talk about what's happening when and where. Tune in every Monday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., 10:10 a.m. This is your host, Lou Field, saying, tune in Mondays, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., WLB Baltimore, 10:10 a.m.
WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM HD3 Baltimore.
The views and opinions of the guest and host you hear on 1010 WOLB
are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Radio 1, its sponsors, or advertisers.
It's done unto you as you believe.
Welcome back. We don't have but a few more minutes left here. We're going to go directly to Christina, 410-481-1010. Y'all come on, get them calls in. We got to hear what we want to hear what you're going to say, because on this coming Wednesday, I believe Jason said at 10 o'clock on C-SPAN 3, they will be talking about reparations with our own Ta-Nehisi Coates and Danny Glover. You all, we got to call them up. Get up in the house.
It's going to be in the House Judiciary Subcommittee.
In the subcommittee, okay. Christina, welcome. Do you have a question or comment?
The comment, where's the paperwork? Where do we sign?
It's Christine Flowers. That's who this is.
Where do we sign?
Well, we gonna find
the paperwork, because we need to look at, some of your callers, Money Mike is on point, Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
They telling us how to deal with the homeless, how to deal with the squeegee kids. They want to keep directing everything we do like we are not conscious leaders. I'm loving the show. Where to sign up? Boycotting Christmas. I'm all for it. I can put it on my show. See, we got to start supporting each other.
Yes, ma'am.
And speaking the same language like Money Mike said.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's boycott some of this stuff right here in Baltimore City.
I like that Christmas one.
People are so comfortable taking our money and taking all of our legacy interests. Yes, where the paperwork?
All right.
Christine, don't go so far.
Patrick.
Christine,
keep it on my desk.
All right, sweetheart.
Christine, I have a young sister in my neighborhood wants to start doing the hair for our homeless sisters, and she wants to do this as a volunteer service. I sent you an email. I'll try to send you another one, but she wants to open up a hair care salon where most of the emphasis will be on doing hair for sisters in the community, but doing it at no cost.
Wow, Christina, you hung up, sweetheart. I hope you heard that. Get in touch with.
But I'll email Christine.
Oh, okay.
But I think this has a great idea to help our sisters.
Oh, absolutely, because if you're a woman, if your hair don't feel right, you just don't even feel like going out. I try to take pictures of people of women. They go, "Oh, baby, my hair. Don't you take no picture of me." They ain't gonna let you. They don't want their children taking a picture of them if their hair not right. Their children don't want to take pictures if their hair ain't right. 410-481-1010. Yes,
Patrick, really quick, just to all of our Facebook friends and family out there. So Irene says, whatever reparations is received, it should be tied into the establishment of generational wealth. The United Nations did a study and concluded that the U.S. owes the black community reparations, by the way. So thank you, Sister Irene, for sharing that with us. And thank you, Kevin, Angie, Valerie, Keys, and there's so many of you that are following us currently on Facebook, and they're all chiming in about reparations.
Yes, and you can chime in with us. Go to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on Facebook, and you can chime in, and you can call, and I want to hear your voice, too. I like to read, but I love it when I hear your voice, because I gets up in your soul, because I can hear your guts telling what you really want to say. 410-481-1010. Leon, we're going to come to you. Welcome, sir. Do you have a question or comment?
Peace, power, and harmony to you, brother.
Yes, sir.
I am also Brother Musa. Aru. In a nutshell, going back to the caller, Oscar, I think the brother needs to research for itself, because man knows not by being told. But the reality is that the people who are from the continent that is known as Africa have been the foremost explorers and shipbuilders and architects since this country, since this earth
began.
We've had people on this earth. So we were the first, we're the original people, and we traveled everywhere. So the brother Oscar is limited in his scope because he's only going from a slave's mentality, starting from slavery, which is a very limited scope as to how long we have been on this planet and doing everything that you see on this planet is influenced by our people. I don't want to get into the name calling,
Leon,
because they're going to have the people who say
no. I know, no, we know. But Leon, let me ask you a question though. Have you been to the African American Museum in Washington D.C.? That's what pissed me off, and excuse my language. They to insinuate that our history started with enslavement. I thought it was an insult to our people. Where's the museum that shows that we were the beginning of civilization? Where's that museum?
Well, the insult starts when you start talking about African Americans. You know, it leaves it as there's no other group of solely on the continent that came from. So therein lies where the limited scope comes from the beginning.
Yes, sir.
Just by your classification of the people. But nonetheless, we have to start researching things for ourselves.
Yes, sir. And talking about it.
By being told.
Yes.
And then passing that information along.
Yes, sir. Listen, thank you so much.
And Patrick, it goes deeper than that. Like Oscar just called back, and I told him, we had our dear sister Jane Elliott on here.
Yes.
And she said that it dates back to our mitochondrial DNA. It shows that the earliest of human existence came out of Africa, and then we also know that through research that most of the continents were all together at one time as one big landmass, and the continents broke up and the plates broke up, and everything kind of separated and spread out. And they show geologists show maps where all the different countries were together and how they were one big landmass at one time.
Unfortunately, gentlemen, and as an academic, I can say it from this standpoint, there have always been two schools of teaching thought when it comes to, with respect to history. You have a Europeanist form of ideology that says that Greece and Rome has been the center of the universe, and then there's the Africanist that's now coming more and more into play, where Africa is now the center.
Yes, the truth, the facts. They've lied for years, for decades, for centuries. They have lied, but now they can no longer lie, and there's no reason for us not to know, because the information is right there in your hands on that telephone. You can Google it, and you can find out. If you don't like one, you can read other assessments of what it was, but you can get the truth.
That's been the problem, is the way that everybody has been taught.
Yes, sir. Ernest, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment?
Yeah, this is Ernest. I had the problem with a person teaching music that can't read music.
Okay.
I know that people are gifted. You had a lot of people that were gifted that could play music. However, you can't get in no conservatory unless you can sight read music.
Sir.
You can't get into school for the arts unless you can sight read music.
Sir, I'm not going to... Hold on, Ernest. Now, come on. I want to be nice to you because you called and you've done this before. But what you don't understand about education today is that there are people that can't. And I can read music. So I don't know whoever told you that is a lie. I can read music. But I bring in the professionals. I am a composer by profession. I have had over 800 songs recorded by major artists all over the world. I don't have to read music. I create music, sir. Have a good day.
And Patrick, going through since we want to keep calling Google up, these are the musicians, really quick, that cannot read music and have admitted: Lionel Richie, the king of pop, Michael Jackson, Eric Clapton,
Irving Berlin,
Eddie Van Halen,
man,
Jimi Hendrix.
Listen, we're not gonna waste no time on that. You know I ain't finna. Please, as they say down south, my mama say, I ain't studying about you.
That goes way back.
That go way back.
I heard that in years.
Sherry, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment?
Yes, I have a question and a comment.
Welcome.
I agree with a lot of what your callers are saying today about reparations.
Yes,
There's
ma'am.
some good ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my question is, Patrick, do you think this could be a political issue for them to put out just to get us riled up?
Come on.
Reparations?
Yes, ma'am.
Really,
Yes,
'cause
ma'am.
If you notice, look at how a lot of people engaged in this conversation. So that being said, I want you to stay on it, Patrick. You got to start talking about Joe Biden.
Oh, yes.
That's going, because I'm hearing people saying the exact same thing that you be talking about from listening to you. I say, but you are so articulate the way you bring it.
Well,
and I
thank
love
you.
the way you bring it.
Thank
so
you.
if you're going to be hated by some people
ain't
because they going to say you messing it up, we need Trump out of there.
Mhm.
But keep on doing what you're doing.
I am. Thank you, Sherry. I love
Y'all
you.
have a
Bless you.
good
You might need to use her for your opening.
Well,
at
I know.
every
I
show.
know. We'll keep that. We'll keep that. We'll make a little
Those
lead
are some
in on
great
that.
words she
Thank
just
you,
shared.
Sherry. Well, she's been a bless. She be defending me too on other programs. Y'all listen. Patrick is the one that got it right. Y'all got it wrong. And then when I almost say it too by Joe Biden, all you black people considered voting for Joe Biden. Joe Biden was the one in that. What was it? 96 crime
97.
bill. 97 crime bill that put stipulations in there that they would end vocational training, GED training, bachelor degree training. It had been the most successful program in the correction system in the history of the program, because even we had relatives who went in who couldn't do anything, had no education, no skills, who came out with job skills and were able to change their life. It was Joe Biden. He called them predators, said they were psychopaths and they were beyond rehabilitation. Joe Biden is the one. And then he was against busing. Okay, well then what he does is he shows his hands like he ain't doing nothing.
And he's the one that brought us Clarence Thomas.
Clarence Thomas to the Supreme Court. Absolutely. So no, y'all, he's the last one we should consider. And Sherry is right. They're all gonna jump on the bandwagon for reparations, but we're gonna hold their feet to the fire. Okay, we're gonna find a way to do it. Diane, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. You have a question or comment?
Hey, Patrick.
Hello, darling.
I have a comment. Once I want to give kudos to the running man. The running man runs because he has kidney problems, and a couple of his family members died from the disease. So he's trying to keep his kidneys working, functioning the right way. And we should protect him because he's 66 years old, and I don't know if it's children or adults that keep attacking him. This man been doing this over 15 years, because when I worked in West Baltimore over at Rosemount Tower, I would see him every morning. I lived in Windsor Hill, and he would be running early in the morning.
You know what? Hold on for a minute, Diane. I heard a little bit about this morning. What is this about? I see him running all the time.
He was attacked over the weekend.
He said that he has kidney problems. They just put it out on TV.
But why is he at the fore? Why are we talking about him?
Because he was attacked. Somebody attacked him while he was running.
Really?
Yeah.
And the first time they put him, he was in the hospital for a long time because they really beat him.
Wow.
And they attacked him last weekend. I understand. I think it was Friday.
And a couple of ladies actually put him in their vehicle and took him to the hospital
and saved his life. He said that if it wasn't for those ladies, he would have been dead.
Oh man!
And somebody keep protecting our elders. We got to speak up about it.
Who does that to old people? What kind of cowards are those?
Unfortunately, Patrick, it's people that look like you and me.
You're right. Thank you, Diane, so much, sweetheart. We're going to go to Tyrone here on line 3. Tyrone, 410-481-1010. Y'all got a few more minutes to call. 410-481-1010. Tyrone, welcome. Do you have a question or comment?
Yeah, it takes a real punk to do something like that. But anyway.
Yeah, you're right.
I really don't like hearing stuff like that.
Me either, man.
And they should be punished. They should be punished for this of the law.
I agree.
Or their butts whipped by a relative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That being said, I had a question for Doc Sheeta.
Yes, sir.
And I hope you don't take this the wrong way.
No.
I was in a meeting with housing officials a few weeks ago, and this is so absurd. They said to me, we were trying to get houses that were slated for demolition for jobs training and Patrick knows what I'm talking about, jobs training and homeownership opportunities, and some of the neighborhoods. And the lady in housing said that those houses that are slated for demolition, they got to go ahead and demolish them because that they want to keep their promise to them. That's the only thing that can be done. We tell them about using our program or what we're trying to do. Do these community leaders are telling these people houses instead of trying and jobs training?
Let me say then I think to their advantage. Statements that we make dealing with specific locations. There are some specific locations. I'll speak, strictly for my neighborhood association, Matthew Henson Neighborhood Association. There are some properties that we want demolished, but there are other properties, like even on Larry Young Morning Show today, I indicated to them find a viable location to put our social club. I suggested both the 18 and 1900 blocks of West North Avenue on the odd numbered side. I think what's happening is that we got some officials who that community brushed them and brought. There are places that we actually need them torn down because of how demolished they are. But there are some locations, and as I indicated on the Larry Young Morning Show this morning, there are some locations that we want rehab. We want those buildings to stay.
Exactly, because of the aesthetic look of them.
Yeah.
Here we go, Wanda. Welcome.
Good question.
Great question. Thanks, Tyrone. Listen, y'all all wait till some of y'all wait to the last minute, but Wanda, we rolling, baby. What you got, a question for us or comment? Wanda?
Yes, I want to thank you for your for being on air and for giving us a voice so we can speak.
Oh, bless you.
Also, I want to thank Sherry, the one just called about the reprobation, how a lot of callers calling in.
Yes,
a lot of callers calling in talking about that, but let's not let us get sidetracked and let us talk about Joe Biden. And I want to thank her for that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And I thank her for reminding me. Oh, bless you, Wanda. Thank you so much, sweetheart. I tell you, we got so much.
Doc.
We want more time. We're praying for more time. Go ahead, Richard.
Doc, I have the perfect place to put the Art Social Club.
Where?
The old Ambassador Theater on Liberty Heights.
That's an interesting idea, but we ain't talking about that right now.
I know that, but I'm just saying. It just hit
that's an interesting point. But it's so historic there. And have you seen that auditorium in the Art Social Club?
Yeah.
Man, it is just class. Raheem right now, welcome to the people. You have a question or comment, sir? Raheem?
Just a comment.
Okay.
Good hand about the eye-opener about the reparations. What got me sad, but in the proclamations signed into law by Abraham Lincoln, if you study them thoroughly, you'll see that the word reparations is not in it. It's compensation, not reparation. So research that.
Okay.
Would you please, and let's get it straight. It's a trick on words because we were compensation, reparation, colonization, and nationalization. Nationalization, colonization, and compensation. It's just more than some so-called reparations is compensation.
All right,
It's all right in the previous world.
Yeah, listen, thank you so much. See there? That's why this show is so important. It says compensation in the proclamation. It doesn't say reparations. What is the difference? We won't discuss that now. We're going to keep moving. Welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. You have a question or comment? Come quickly. We only have a few more minutes left.
Yes. Okay. Well, let me explain something. Let me say this to you.
Quickly.
I am in agreement with what Joe Biden did, which was wrong. But you're doing the same thing that people did with Hillary Clinton, and all those blacks didn't vote, and we ended up with Trump.
Man,
and the same thing will happen if you tell all these black folks, when most of the white people that don't want Trump vote for Biden, and then we don't help them, we're going to have Trump again.
You got 20 candidates, sir. Why are you panicking? Vote on a man that has never done one good thing for black people in his life. Why would you even consider him? We've got Elizabeth Warren. We got Bernie Sanders. We've got Kamala. We have all these incredible candidates, and you're acting like none of those people are there. Why would you vote for this man?
Look what Kamala did as a prosecutor.
I wouldn't vote for her, but she's still there. I wouldn't vote for her. I agree with you. I wouldn't vote for her, but Warren and Sanders, they get my vote. All right, we're going to keep on moving right here. Glord, how are you today, sir?
Yes, it's a pleasure to hear your voices again.
Thank you for calling.
Right, and in restoration, if they give us the money so we can get our land, so we can do our thing, just like Black Wall Street. So if we can pick up from there, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
But my comment is on the racetrack again.
Racetrack?
Yeah, on the racetrack, the property.
We're not talking about that today, Glord, but call back next week. We'll talk about it another time. But we want to stay on this, and we want to close out this show with a certain thing. Jason, what I'd like for you to do, what I've asked you to play, I would like for you to play our theme song under that. Could you do a little mix for me right quick before you start to play it, just to undergird it? Listen, I want to reinforce that Doc Cheatham and his organization, the Matthew Henson Community Development Corporation, is having a celebration on Juneteenth. Is y'all gonna have some red soda out of there?
I'll have some just for you. How about that?
Strawberry Crush. You know, down in Texas, that's what we have.
Right there.
We have barbecue and Strawberry Crush soda. Got to be red soda down there somewhere. So I'll come. You promise me you gonna have some Strawberry Crush down there and stuff. Don't get me started. We bring a grill up in and throw some ribs on that bad boy. Okay, but it's going to be Wednesday, June 19th, from 6 to 8 at the Leonard E. Hicks Community Center. That's 627 18 West North Avenue. You all please come out and support it. And Mosiah, you were going to tell us about the camp that you're doing?
Yes, Black Wolf Youth Scouts Entrepreneurship Camp starts next Monday. It'll go until August 23rd. Time is 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. We're looking for community supporters for food and other volunteers. You can call me at 212-202-0107. We'll be in the Fulton, merely Matthew Henson community.
And what's the address? You don't know offhand. Just give him a call if you want to. But we do need y'all.
The phone number again?
212-202-0107.
And don't forget, family, C-SPAN 3 on Wednesday, the reparations, actually they're calling it the slavery reparations hearing going on in the House Judiciary Subcommittee. Danny Glover, Ta-Nehisi, correct? Ta-Nehisi, I'm sorry.
Coates, yes.
Coates and others are scheduled to testify, and you can catch that on C-SPAN 3 at 10 o'clock on Wednesday.
Yes. Jim.
Okay, there are at least 20,000 black folk in town week for the 114th Congress of Christian Education. There is a 300-plus voice choir that's doing a concert tonight at the Baltimore Convention Center called The Evolution of Black Church Music.
Really?
So if you see a lot of black folk around, it's because there are 20,000 of them minimum here in the city.
And say hi and be nice. Be nice to them people. Don't y'all go down there trying to snatch no purses or nothing. They'll rebuke you in the name of Jesus and beat you up with that purse. Y'all stay away from God's people. Don't you touch God's people. Don't you do it. Well, it's been a great day. Thank you so much. Richard, bless you. Thank you for being here. Leo, thank you. I know you're gone. Jimmy. And Mosiah Fit. Get Patrick here next Sunday, 800 and at 11:30. I'll be 1010.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the African diaspora and to the people. Black power, black power, black power.
Together we stand, one God, one aim, and one destiny, in pursuit of liberty and justice for all.
The Black Wolves Warriors Creed.
I am a warrior. I am a guardian of freedom. I am disciplined, mentally strong, and physically fit.
I am the elite, willing to protect myself, my family, and my community by any means necessary. I will never quit. I will never accept defeat. I will never leave my brother or sister behind. I will show mercy to my enemies. I will stand my ground and fight to the end.
I will. I will. Black Wolf, what is your oath?
I will. We are one. Our mission and birth priority. Sworn to protect and serve for the freedoms of today, our tomorrow, our future. Respect is must. Commitment is must. And administrative love is a must. Together we shall accomplish each task. Victory is our best friend, and failure is our worst enemy.
We are the Black Wolf. I will.
On things that you later regret, wishing you never had. Once you realize it wasn't worth it.
WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM HD3 Baltimore. Brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel.